Hey guys, Steph Davis here from flipthiswholesaler.net, where I teach you to make more money, flip more houses, and kick more ass. I am here today with a brand new Q&A Tuesday video for you guys. My question this week comes from Anne, and Anne writes, "Hi Steph, I'm just getting started learning about wholesaling and have a few questions about earnest money deposits. I've heard that when dealing with private sellers, you can get away with a small, like $10 earnest money deposit. Is this really the case, or do they normally want more? I don't have a lot of extra cash at the moment, and this concerns me. Also, is it possible to put down a small earnest money deposit on REOs? Thank you, Anne." All right, so the often asked question about earnest money deposits, there's a couple parts to this question. First off, Anne asked if it really is possible to be able to do a deal, a wholesale deal with a private seller and put down $5 or $10. Yes, it is. When I was getting started, I was in the same situation as you are in, and I barely had any money at all. And on my contracts, I always put down either $5 or $10. I have students in markets all over the country right now that are doing the same thing. With that being said, sometimes, especially if it is a more savvy investor, maybe someone who has bought and sold a lot of properties, sometimes they will ask for more. Or I just spoke with a student yesterday. She just closed her first wholesale deal a couple of weeks ago and made $15,500 on that. And what happened with that was it was a private seller. The seller had inherited the property. It was a probate property. And she went over to the house to negotiate the deal. They agreed on a price. It was a great deal. And she had a contract with her right there. So, pulled the contract out, filled it out. And the seller said, well, I want to have my attorney review this before I sign it. So he actually sent it to his, I don't know if he scanned and emailed it or how he got it to his attorney, but sent it to him right away. And the his attorney ended up saying, well, the contract looks okay, but I would ask for more than I think she put either $5 or $10 as an earnest money deposit. The attorney told his client to ask for more, like $500 to $1,000. So that's what happened. That's what the seller took his attorney's advice and turned around and told her, well, I want between $500 and $1,000 for a deposit. Now, she did not have a whole lot of cash at the time to cough up for, a $500 or $1,000 earnest money deposit, but she knew that this deal could potentially make her, close to or maybe more than $20,000. So she wasn't going to let it go, slip through her fingers over a $500 deposit. So she wrote into the contract that the deposit would be, the earnest money would be deposited within 24 to 48 hours of ratification of the contract, and then she and her husband went and got the $500 together. So, if you've got a deal where you could potentially make 20 grand or even 10 or 5, you tend to find a way to get that. If you need to come up with an earnest money deposit like she did of $500, you tend to get very resourceful and find a way to do it. When I was just getting started and I was going after REOs, I did not have money for the deposits. And on a couple of different occasions, I think I did this 2 times, I offered a $5,000 earnest money deposit even though I didn't have it. Once I got verbal approval from the agent, once they said that the bank was going to accept my offer, what I did was there were several wholesalers that I had been networking with, and I went to them. Now, actually, before I go on, I want to point out that these deals that I got under contract where I was offering a $5,000 earnest money deposit, I was offering so low that I knew I was 100% certain that I would be able to sell these deals. These were phenomenal deals. I knew the area very well. I had buyers lined up in this area. So when I went to it was one particular wholesaler, a friend of mine, went to him and said, look, this is the deal. I just got these properties under contract. The numbers are amazing. I already have buyers for them, but I don't have the earnest money deposit. Would you be willing to put up the earnest money deposit and then we can split the deals 50-50? So he did that. Like I said, I did this 2 times. After that, I had my own cash so I could put up my own earnest money deposit. So, sometimes you just have to get resourceful and you got to do what you got to do when you're just getting started. Lost my train of thought there. Oh, the second part of your question, Anne, was if you can get away with putting a very small deposit on an REO. No, I don't think you're going to get very far with that. They're usually, or they are pretty strict. Everything is pretty black and white, cut and dry. With bank-owned properties, the banks are going to have their addenda that have a whole bunch of stipulations in them. The earnest money deposit is usually set at $1,000, sometimes more. So if you're trying to put up $5 or $10 with a bank-owned property, I would not attempt to do that, because the banks are pretty by the book and strict, and they have their rules and regulations, and that set earnest money deposit is one of them. So, if you don't have the cash, if you're in a situation where you don't have a lot of cash for earnest money deposits, either do something like I did and partner with someone, maybe somebody in your market that trusts you, or a friend or family member, or just don't go after bank-owned properties. Go after private seller deals where you can typically get away with putting up a much smaller deposit. One thing I wanted to mention too, if you do have someone that's willing to maybe put up your earnest money deposit, you want to make sure that you have an out of some sort, just in case. I mean, even if you're pretty sure that you can sell it, if you don't have any contingencies in there and then you can't sell it, then your friend or family member or business partner, whoever, is going to lose that deposit. So you want to make sure that you, if you've got somebody else's, you should do this for yourself also. If you're not positive that you can sell the deal, is give yourself an out. But you want to make sure that if you can't sell that deal, you can get out of the contract and get that deposit back and give it to your partner, friend, however you set it up. So anyway, I hope that answered your questions, Anne. If anyone has anything they would like to add, feel free to write a comment below in the comment sections. If you're watching this video on YouTube, I do have comments disabled, but if you'd like to leave a comment, you can go to my blog. It's flipthiswholesaler.net. And I have been getting a lot of questions lately about earnest money deposits, stuff regarding REOs and the process of how to put a property, an REO, under contract and wholesale it. If you guys haven't picked up my Flip This REO ebook yet, I would highly suggest doing that. It's a terrific resource. It's only $47, and I basically walk you through how to make offers on REOs, how to get them closed, how to structure the paperwork, and all of that. So you can get that at flipthisreo.net. So that is it for today. You guys have a fabulous week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.